ahoy, ahoy, and welcome back to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. I am, as ever, your humble and contrite host, Michael Lundy. And we are going to sit down with local singer, local songwriter, local performer, local recording artist, local bass player, local guitar player, Jeff Mamett. And what a great experience it was to sit down with him in his beautiful home outside Catawissa, Pennsylvania. And we learned a lot about Jeff. That's why I like doing these podcasts, because I get to learn a lot about my fellow singer-songwriters here in the area. And we're going to kick off the proceedings with this episode with a song that Jeff recorded down in Nashville, Tennessee. And this song is Feels Like Love, written and performed by Jeff Mamett. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our little visit with Jeff Mamett on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
All day long I dream about you, you're always on my mind. I can't eat and I can't sleep, I lose all track of time. I go around acting dizzy as my senses all unwind. I don't need no doctor, I feel fine. It feels like love, it feels like love to me. If you'll be my flower, I will be your honeybee. You fill my heart up more than more can be. Oh, I never felt this way before. It feels like love to me. I got butterflies in my stomach, my heart skips when you're near. Friends all wonder where I've been, I can't get enough, it's clear. In my eyes you're perfect, way beyond compare. To be your one and only, I'd follow you anywhere. It feels like love, it feels like love to me. If you'll be my flower, I will be your honeybee. You fill my heart up more than more can be. Oh, I never felt this way before. It feels like love to me. One day I'll ask the question from my bended knee. We'll build ourselves a cabin and we'll raise a family. As our hair turns silver, we'll grow old happily. You'll still be my honey when we're 93. It feels like love, it feels like love to me. If you'll be my flower, I will be your honeybee. You fill my heart up more than more can be. Oh, I never felt this way before. It feels like love to me. No, I never felt this way before. It feels like love to me.
Hey, welcome back to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. And this is This interview is one that I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while. We are going to sit down with Jeff Mamett. Jeff is just one of the local legends here in the area as far as songwriting, performing, and just a great, wonderful guy. And one of the pleasures of doing this podcast and the radio show is getting to know some of the performers and the songwriters here in the area. So I am really looking forward to getting to know Jeff Mamett a little bit more today. So without further ado, Jeff, welcome to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
Thank you, Michael. It's my pleasure.
The pleasure's mine. I'd heard of you for a number of years before we actually met. And the first time I think we actually met was at Bob Randall's Songwriter Showcase down at the Route 61 Roadhouse. And this was pre-pandemic. So this had to have been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it was set up that you went first. You know, it was a songwriters in the round. So you went first, Jason Yoder went second, and then I went third. And you want to talk about pressure. You want to talk about feeling like you're, like the, I had to follow both of you guys. So, but you were so gracious and just such a great guy that, just made me feel at ease. So, thank you for everything that you've done. So,
well, my goodness, that's a pretty tall compliment. Thank you, Michael. No. But you got to remember when you're doing those rounds, I had to follow you two guys.
Well, I don't think you didn't have the hard part there because you're great. I just enjoy your songwriting. I enjoy your style, and you're it. I really appreciate you sitting down with us for this interview. The first song that we played in with was "Feels Like Home."
Feels like love.
Feels like love. I'm sorry. And we have played that song on the radio show a couple times, and just really enjoy it. And we get a lot of good feedback on your songs as well. So, it is my pleasure to sit down with you. So, all right.
Thank you so much for all your support and for all of us really in the area. You're really doing a great thing. Doing us all real solid, and thank you.
Well, my pleasure. This really is a fun gig, and because I get to learn a little bit about you guys as well and gals. So we always start out. Let's rewind the tape back to your early days. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? The whole kind of start there, and we'll go from there.
Well, I was born in Illinois, but I was raised in Center County, Pennsylvania.
Where in Illinois?
Just a little no-place town.
Okay. Not even worth mentioning.
Not even worth mentioning. But so I grew up in Center County.
Okay.
Not too far. So Penn State had a big influence, and of course there was tons and tons of places to play. Yeah. Back in those days. So did you come from a musical family? Did your family play? I mean, was how that? Not really.
Wow.
Well, when I say not really, my dad was, he could pick up any instrument and any tune he could hear, he could just play it.
Really?
He was just that kind of person, but he was the kind of person that if he did something, it's like, okay, I did it. I'm not interested in doing it anymore. So his favorite instrument was a harmonica, though, and every once in a while he'd break it out and play it for us. But no, not really.
Wow, interesting.
But we always had a radio on in the kitchen.
Okay.
So I was just listening to everything I could soak up, and then, my goodness, so early on, it was the Hank Williams and the Lefty Frizzell and that sort of stuff on the radio. And then, of course, the rock and roll hit it. And, I'd fall asleep at night with my little transistor radio under my pillow, just, soaking in everything I could. I don't know how many 9-volt batteries. I think I kept a factory in business.
So when did the bug really bite that you picked up a guitar, or what was your first instrument? What did you start out on?
I started on guitar when I was 7. I still see me and my folks in our kitchen, and it was after supper, and the old man said, "Okay, you're going to have to learn to play an instrument now. What do you want to play?"
No, wait a minute. So your dad said you have to learn how to play an instrument.
Yes.
But I mean, he played the harmonica. I mean,
Yeah.
but he could pick. You said he could pick up anything and just
play it
by ear. Just play it. Why that? Why that? Why did he say you have to learn an instrument?
I never knew why.
Wow.
He wasn't one for giving reasons.
Yeah, we grew up in the era that if Dad said something, you did it. Yeah.
I mean, Dad, when he was in the service, he'd been a drill sergeant, and you just did.
Oh, no kidding. So Dad was in the service.
Yes.
What branch?
Army.
Army. He was a drill sergeant.
Yes. Yeah. So you didn't. He said, "Yes, sir." You just did. So he said, "What do you want to play?"
Wow.
And I said, "Bagpipes." I was serious.
Okay.
I thought the bagpipes were the coolest doggone thing. I guess I'd seen somebody play it on television or something.
Yeah.
And he said, "Nope, not that. Pick something else."
Good, smart dad.
I said, "Drums." He said, "Nope, pick again." I said, "All right, guitar." Fine. So you're going to play guitar, and they took me to this music store and where I was going to have lessons. And I still remember walking in the door, and you know how in music stores they have like all the instruments hanging on the wall,
yeah,
at least the ones they can hang, right? And there was this guitar on the wall. I didn't know what it was at the time. It was a bass, but it had these big fat strings. And I remember reaching up and plucking the string, like a couple of the strings going by, and thinking, "Man, that is so cool." But that wasn't in my options to play. I had to learn to play the guitar.
Okay.
So they started me out there, and then I started taking lessons from a guy.
Do you remember what that first guitar was?
It was some kind of resonator guitar.
Really?
It was one I'd never seen. I mean, we didn't own it, the music store.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had a metal resonator and, that real brittle sound to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a Mexican hat dance or something. I had to learn to play on that, So pretty soon I kind of outgrew what was going on there, and through some friends, they knew a fellow who had been a studio player, a guitar player, and so he would come once a week, and he gave me a half-hour lesson, and he started. I mean, he was deep jazz, so it was like jazz chords and reading music and all this kind of stuff, and that was my introduction. So. I'll fast forward when I was So actually, me and a couple buddies, we formed a band.
Okay.
We called ourselves the Hangmen. The three of us, and we'd listen to songs on the radio and figure them out and play it. And then I started getting gigs or whatever, opportunities to play with older musicians, and there were some kids. I was in 7th grade. The kids were in 9th grade, and I got in a band with them, and we started playing, carnivals and legions and this, that, every place.
Yeah.
And then we stayed together, until those guys graduated from high school. We had different folks in and out, but when the kid we had playing bass, when we hit 9th grade, he wanted to play football. He didn't want to play anymore. And there was this kid that he was 2 years older than us. He was a phenomenal guitar player. He could play anything, just like the record. Yeah. And we had an opportunity to get him. And I said, well, and I'd been showing this other kid all the bass parts anyway. I said, well, I'll play the bass. And I bought his rig and let that kid play guitar. And so I was a bass player.
Well, that's what you start. You started out plucking that bass at the music store. So
that was my deal. remember my grandmother, she had this big, they had those tall, skinny lamps.
Yes.
And it had like ridges on it. Mm-hmm. And I hear something come on the stereo, like upright bass. And I just like pretend I was playing it.
Funny.
On there. Yeah. So anyway, we, through different iterations, we played all through school and high school. And we, my goodness, I mean, there were like 62 or so fraternities there at Penn State.
Oh, okay.
So we would play Wednesday night mixer. We'd play a mixer Friday early and then a dance Friday night. And we'd play Saturday night. And then I was playing with a jazz group down at the bars on the off nights.
Yeah. Still playing bass.
Totally playing bass.
Got it.
So did that after high school. Went on the road with like a top 40 type of a band.
Okay.
We were doing like 6 nights a week, 6 sets a night. The 7th day we traveled to the next town.
Yeah.
Once in a while we get to stay 2 weeks in the same town, which was nice. You didn't. But anyway, we got to a point where I wanted to do more, and the other guys didn't. So I quit. And I loaded up my stuff and I went out to L.A.
Okay.
I thought, well, I'll either, get knocked down or I'll be able to do something.
Now, what time frame are you talking about? Like years?
So I was like maybe...
No, I mean like what year it was when you went out to L.A.
So the first time I went out to L.A., it had to be 1973, 74, wow. Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so,
that's a good time to go out to L.A. for music, I guess.
Oh, it was happening.
Yeah,
I mean, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was hustling all around, just playing every audition
sure.
every day, and playing every gig I could get.
Yeah.
And I was doing all right, but I wasn't doing too great, and I was ready to say, okay, well, I guess I got my butt kicked.
How long were you there? When
At that point, I'd been there maybe 5-6 months.
Okay.
But it was like, anyway, we could get a whole other discussion about LA in those days.
Yeah.
Because everything's also so spread out. I mean, you had to drive 45 minutes or to an hour to get anywhere from one side of town to the other.
Yeah.
And, so your money didn't go very far. You're just pouring a lot in the gas tank. But anyway, I was really down on it, and I got a call to go to an audition up in Hollywood. And I thought, well, all right, I'll go. And I get to this place up on Hollywood Boulevard, and there are bass players like lined up outside the building, just waiting to get in and play. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why did I even come? and this one guy who was like right in line before me, I never knew his last name. He just went by one name, Hanley. Okay. And Hanley was like, he was just, even to look at him was so impressive. Like, he came in looking like a rock star. He had this big afro, and he had the Jimi Hendrix vest and the big shoes, and when he plugged in, I mean, he was like popping and snapping, and he was dancing, and I was going, holy crap. Can I say that?
Yeah, why not?
I thought, oh man. So he finished, and kind of like looked at the rest of us like, so I thought, well, I'm here, I'll play. So I start playing, and this was a band. It was with the bass player, it was an 8-piece band. Mm-hmm. They were somewhere between Parliament Funkadelic and what was their names? Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's kind of what they were doing.
Okay.
And played a tune. He said, well, all right, let's try this. Let's try. And they kept me playing and kept me playing and kept me playing. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And finally, okay. And so I went down. It was way up the stairs, like at the second floor of this building. I get down there, and these, okay, And one of the guys follows me down, and he says, "So you want to join?" Now they had a deal with Warner's. This was a paid gig, paid, living expenses paid, everything was paid. I said, "Heck yeah, you betcha."
Wow.
So,
and you were about to chuck it in.
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, and that led to some really wonderful opportunities. We were recording our album, basically, the same studio, same time Stevie Wonder was doing Songs in the Key of Life. So we got to hang with him and do some.
Now, what was the name of the band? What was the project that
at the time? The band was called the Ohio Silvers, and if you look at the long list of thank yous, they're actually on Songs in the Key of Life. I forget which tunes we played on for them.
Okay.
But later, the group was renamed Nitro.
Okay.
So anyway, I got a lot of studio work. The manager was sort of pitting Warner's against Motown at the time, and so got a lot of work out of Motown. Got a lot of work out of Warner's, doing a lot of publishing demos, doing work for studio work for other artists and stuff. It was a wonderful time.
So, but hold on just a minute, because you're. From what I've known of you and my experience with your music is you're very in the wheelhouse of country and kind of that. And so this was kind of a folk, or as you were, kind of a funk Motown kind of band that you were playing in.
It's real funky.
Wow. I would never have guessed that.
So, but wow. I come from a rural background, agricultural background, rural background. My earliest was country. Yeah. But I'm out to be a player. I'll play anything, pay me. I mean, I'm a hired gun, pay me, play, because if you can't do it, there's 700 guys waiting to do it.
But you did it and you got the gig. So I've been impressed with you before we sat down, but I'm even more impressed that you were picked up by a funk band playing bass. I mean, that is just remarkable. I'm in awe of that. That's cool. I
thought Hanley had the gigs.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're coming up against somebody like that,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know him, but what you described is like, and if he's doing pop, and this is early '70s, that popping
that
stuff,
Larry Graham kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now I didn't pop much, but they liked what I did. They liked my tone. They liked my sound.
Wow.
They just dug it.
Cool.
I was able to really get deep in a pocket.
Okay.
And just really, really drive it.
Yeah.
So anyway, just without dragging it too long.
No, that's all right.
They, as with many things in the music industry, the manager was, let's say he wasn't driving in a straight line. Mm-hmm. And he played his hand a little bit too far, trying to pit Warner's and Motown against each other, because we already had a deal with Warner's. Mm-hmm. And what he was trying to do was steal the masters and sell them to Motown.
Wow.
And in order to finish that deal, he needed us all to sign an agreement with him. And he showed up at the house one night. There were these contracts you can't see this on the radio, but I mean, they seemed like they were an inch thick. They really couldn't have been that thick, but they were very thick.
Oh, sure.
And he said, "Okay, you all have to sign this." And everybody's writing it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm starting to go through. And I said, "Wait a minute. This says that no matter what I make in my life, I've got to give you 25% of it, whether I'm flipping hamburgers or playing. I can't sign this." Yeah. "Well, you got to sign this to play." I said, "Well, I'm done. I'm out."
Wow.
So I left and came back home, went to school, went to college, met my wife. We got married. Okay. Incidentally, the horn section from that band ended up going on with Rick James.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. They're terrific. And actually, my dear friend who was the leader of it, a guy named Chris Powell, he now has a nonprofit called Stars in Columbus, Ohio, where he's been developing young talent. Oh, and if you ever get a chance to check out some of the youngsters that he's got, they're amazing. But anyway.
Yeah. So go back to the whole contract thing, because that is, so many, so many artists, I mean, you can go back to the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and probably even now, is that they are so excited and they have the fever to do this, that they would sign and not read it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a story that's, that is long in the annals of music and popular music. So you had the foresight to actually look at the contract. I mean, were you just you didn't take it home and read it? You were sitting there as they're signing this thing.
Right. Well, he came, I mean, we all lived together.
Yeah.
The band. Yeah. I mean, he laid it on, you got to do this. You got to do this now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and reading and looking and reading. Everybody else is just signing.
Yeah.
And I just.
That had to take, I mean, because you're right there. You're getting ready to sign this contract, and you had the intestinal fortitude to say, no, that's pretty impressive.
It was tough
Yeah.
Especially I was a kid. I mean, that was a really tough decision.
Yeah. How old were you at that point?
What was I? Maybe I was 20,
Wow.
19 or 20, something like that.
Wow.
It was a very difficult decision. And I was really tight with the guys. I loved them.
Yeah.
And it was really, it was heartbreaking.
To have that level of maturity, that level of foresight, and also just that level of, this is not right for me at the age of 20. I mean, that speaks volumes. I mean, that's because I know at 20, if somebody put something down in front of me like that, I probably would have signed the dang thing. Wow, that's pretty impressive. So you came back? Came back here?
Came back. Like I said, went to college, met my wife, we got married. And during college years, reconnected with a bunch of my old pals, and we used to, every Sunday we'd get together at somebody's house and pick bluegrass and that sort of thing. And my one really best friend, who'll show up later in my story, really turned me on. He's turned me on to so many things in life. Bluegrass was one of them. Mm-hmm. And we'd do that. And so, but when we graduated, my wife and we went back out to LA.
Okay. Now, where'd you go to college at?
Penn State.
Penn State. Okay.
Yeah.
So you graduate. What was your degree in?
Animal science.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't go to be a veterinarian or anything like that.
No. I mean, back in those, I thought about it.
Okay.
Back in those days, there were only 16 veterinary schools in the country.
Yeah.
And they were kind of regionalized, so you could only really apply. Well, you could apply wherever you wanted, but you only had a chance at the one in your region.
Okay.
That was Penn.
Yeah.
And it just.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said no, and I really wanted to play. For me, the degree was okay. It's fallback.
Yeah.
No, I want to play.
Yeah. Okay.
So get out there and started working and playing, and
that was bass. You're still your instrument.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay.
Totally.
Really?
Totally.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
And so, and I was. This was about the time that urban cowboy thing hit.
Yes.
Out there.
So we're talking early 80s.
Yeah, there was work. There was tons of work if you could really play.
Yeah.
And in those days, it wasn't unusual to be playing with maybe 4 or 5 different bands. And we had a network of guys so that, if there was a conflict, I could call up one of my buddies, bass player buddies, and you sub for me, I sub for you, and had this. So in such a big place, it became kind of small as well. Mm-hmm. And I got to play with some really good players, and got to record and tour with a bunch of different folks.
So this was studio work?
Studio work, live work.
Okay.
Traveling, some playing. Although there was a lot of there are tons of clubs to play in LA, which was nice.
Yeah.
Which is different from Nashville, because Nashville. I'll get to that in a moment, but Nashville, if you're going to make a living, you got to be a road player. You got to be out.
Okay.
There's really at least in those days, there wasn't really any money to be made in town.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
I was fortunate. I had 2 mentors that took me under their wing. One was Carol Kay.
No.
And the other one was a fellow named Emery Gordy Jr.,
Holy geez.
And they just really mentored me along and steered me right. But one day, I remember...
Now hold on, Jeff, because Carol Kay is probably one of the most well-known or most heard bass players that you've never heard of.
Right.
She was with the Wrecking Crew.
Yes. She doesn't like that term, by the way.
Oh, she doesn't?
No.
Really?
She says that's Hal Blaine's term.
Okay.
She
all right.
She doesn't go for that. But
Okay.
anyway.
All right. Well, my apologies if Carol actually listens to this. My apology. And I'm expounding on this because A, again, I didn't know that, but B, if somebody's listening to this and they don't know who Carol who she is, and what she played on everything from the Beach Boys to Bobby Darin. I mean, just that whole LA.
Practically, I mean, almost every TV show theme that you heard, she was on. Practically every movie score you heard. Not every, almost.
Just about, because I mean, I'm going to use the term Wrecking Crew because I don't know what else to call them. But Tommy Tedesco was part of that.
Yeah.
Hal Blaine,
Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
Humphreys. She's
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So just. You dropped her name and their names. Are you still in contact with them? And
Carol, we emailed back and forth probably maybe a year or so ago.
Yeah.
But we're not in constant contact.
Yeah.
Emery, we just emailed a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's not real constant.
I got
but when I've had a project or whatever, still to this day, I'll kind of go to him for advice, and he's kind of like Yoda. He'll tell you something, and you're going, "What does he mean?" And you kind of got to go, "Oh, okay, yeah." So
I don't know a lot about him, but Carol, I mean, she seems like the kind of person that's like. She doesn't varnish anything.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And she was another one. I've read about her. She started playing guitar.
Yes, she's a jazz guitarist.
Yeah. But she is known for bass. And what I was you chose to play the bass. I mean, it's the old saw in music that that somebody has to. Well, I didn't want to play the bass, but nobody else wanted to.
Boy, that's a real common story.
It is a very common story, but you didn't do that. You started playing bass.
Love it. Still love it.
Yeah.
It's where my heart is, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry we went down that rabbit hole, but I mean that's phenomenal. I did not know that. So you're in LA, you're working. So pick it up from there.
So this is what was sort of the epiphany for me. I'd go up, like, Emery had this nice little ranch house up in the valley, and go up to his place and so forth. And I started thinking, gee whiz, if I could ever be as successful as him, because I mean, he'd been like, Elvis, the hot band.
Oh yeah,
I mean, all this stuff. Yeah. Producing, married and produced Patti Loveless. And all this. So, and I thought, boy, oh boy, if things ever went that way, this is not how I want to live. I'm a country boy. I don't want to live in the middle of a city. I don't want this to be my end destination, a little ranch house up in the valley.
Yeah.
And so, my wife and I, we both felt that way. And so there was kind of an exodus going on from LA at about that time to Nashville.
Okay.
And so we made the decision that, okay, we're going to pack up here and we're going to move our tent to Nashville. Yeah. So, this is kind of funny, I guess. So one of the bands I'd been playing with was it was a band called James Morgan Band, and we were pretty much gotten to be a pretty regular fixture at the Palomino. And so when I'd made the decision to...
And the Palomino club's in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just for somebody that's
Well, it was.
It
isn't. It's no
It's not
longer
there anymore, but it was.
Yeah, it was like the venue.
Yeah.
So we had made the decision to leave. Mm-hmm. We stopped our rent. We kept paying rent, but we told our landlord, all right, we're going. It always reminds me of that L.A. Freeway song by Guy Clark. Because
yes.
Our circumstance was kind of similar. I said, okay, one last string of gigs at Palomino over the weekend, and then Wednesday we were leaving. So here we are playing this gig, and Saturday night, these folks come up to me. They go, boy, would you be interested in joining our band? We really like to have you join. I said, well, what's the name of this band? They said, Lone Justice. And I said, I'd never heard of them. I said, well, gee whiz, it sounds interesting and all, but we're leaving Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we moved to Nashville, and my wife and I are sitting one night, and we're watching Saturday Night Live. Doggone, guess who was a musical guest? Lone Justice. I thought, doggone, did I screw up?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So anyway, my buddy, my pal who turned me on to so many things, his name's Wayne Adelman.
Okay.
We grew up, playing and all this together and so forth, and turned me on to the bluegrass and so forth.
Now, so this is a guy that you knew from back in State College.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I talked him into coming out to L.A.
Oh, okay.
So he came out to L.A. and lived with us for a while till he, got established, and we played together. We played
Wayne
separately.
Adelman.
Yeah, we played separately and so forth. So then he actually went to Nashville before I did, and then we got out there, and he had landed a gig with at the time they were very popular outfit called Dave and Sugar.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
And so they needed a bass player, so he called me up and said, "Hey man, I got a gig for you."
Yeah.
So we started touring together with Dave and Sugar.
Okay. This is, so if I remember correctly, this is like mid-'80s
Yes.
time frame? Okay.
Yeah. So my wife and I decided to start having children. And our first daughter was actually born down. We lived in Franklin, which is south of Nashville. She was the only baby in the Franklin, Williamson County Hospital at the time. I mean, that's how small things were back then.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, once family life started, I call it, it was like tour bus was like submarine duty, kind of deal.
I can imagine.
That and being a dad just didn't mix.
Yeah.
So I totally quit.
Yeah.
And we came to Pennsylvania, and that was that. And I kind of fell back into my roots into the livestock industry.
Okay.
And when the kids were grown, I was driving one day past this music store, just on a wild hair. I pulled in and had all these Martin guitars hanging on the wall. And I never had one. I thought, well, this would be interesting to just try one out, whatever. Yeah. I had this Yamaha that I hated. You ever have a guitar that you hate?
Yes.
Hate? I don't even know why I kept it, but I hated this guitar. So I hardly ever played it. And I found this Martin I fell in love with.
Yeah.
I ran home, got this guitar I hated, took it in, traded, and some money, got it. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to write songs and sing them, and it's like, where's this coming from? I had no idea.
So you hadn't written, so let's just put everything in perspective here. So mid to late 80s, you're touring with Dave and Sugar, and family starts, you get off the road and come back to Pennsylvania. How long between coming back to Pennsylvania and picking up that Martin guitar? How many years are we talking about? Because you said you had some more kids.
I'm going to say it's probably 25 years, maybe.
So, and did you do any music during that? Really?
Zero.
So 25 years you didn't do anything?
Didn't. It was like cold turkey. Because
oh yeah,
it's like an addiction,
yeah.
And the only way was out was, cold turkey.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would play again. Never even had the desire till this thing started happening with this guitar.
And you hadn't written music.
I had not written a song. I would, on gigs, if they needed like a third harmony part,
sure,
okay, I would do it if I had to. Yeah. It wasn't something I really cared about, but okay, to do the job, all right, fine, I'll do it. Okay. That was the extent of any singing I'd done.
Wow.
So this was totally foreign to me. And funny thing, that was about the time these iPads came out.
Yeah.
And it had voice recorders. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I wonder what my voice would sound like if I sang something. And I wonder if I could stand listening to it without getting sick. And I didn't. I was able to not get sick, and I thought, gee whiz, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And so I started writing and started playing the guitar.
Can I ask how old you were when you started writing songs? And if you say no, it's fine. But I'm curious because
I can't tell you for certain the exact
ballpark.
age, but I'd have to say I was, in my 50s.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, I pictured you as, starting in country, playing guitar and writing since you were, a young man. I didn't realize you kind of picked it up later in life.
Very late.
Wow.
Very late.
Wow.
And so just on a whim, I'd started, well, gee whiz, let me go around to some of these open mics and just see what.
Yeah.
And there were some folks that encouraged me.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're happy or not, but they nevertheless they did, and so I did that, and then on a wild hair, I thought, well, let me try, making an album and see what happens, So most of the stuff I played all the instruments myself. I got a few friends to do some tracks for stuff that I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. A lot of the tracks I recorded here, and then I went in and kind of finished some things up in the studio, and then added a real drummer and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But it was just a kind of a proof of concept. Can I do this? Can I do this and have it come out halfway decent? Yeah. I mean, when I listen to it now, I'm not real proud of it. But back in the time, it was like, oh, wow, okay. So then I said, all right, what if I really get serious about this? Mm-hmm. What if I really, I'm going to do this for real? So I started writing for this record for real. And my old pal, Wayne, he stayed with it down in Nashville all these years. He recently just retired. I think he was like 16 years playing steel for Trace Adkins.
Oh, wow.
But he was there doing it with he was with the Bellamy brothers, and he was all kinds of folks. Yeah. And so I gave him a call. I said, Wayne, I'm thinking of doing this. What would you think about producing me? And I didn't know what he'd say. He said, yeah. He said, send me the scratches on all this stuff and let me see what I hear, blah, blah. And so, long story short, I went down and he rounded up.
And when you say went down, you went down?
Back down, went down to Nashville.
Got it, right.
We recorded at a place called Sound Kitchen in Franklin. Mm-hmm. And it was, so I played bass, but basically there was the rest of the players from Trace's band on this record. And then we had a few other fellows we brought in, like the late great Tiger Bell on fiddle and so forth. And so anyway, we recorded it down there. Wayne produced it, and that record I'm very, very proud of.
Now, what's the title of that album?
That album's called "Carry Me Back." So that's the latest studio album. That's what you've been playing.
Yeah. So that was recorded, produced, everything down in Nashville.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we went in. I think we laid all the bed tracks and everything over about a week, and then I came home, and then Wayne brought in, did some overdubs and that sort of thing with different folks, and then I went back down, I think 3 weeks later, and spent a week tracking the vocals. Okay. And then I came home, and then he added like background vocals and that sort of thing, and then did the mixing and all that sort of stuff. He and Jesse Poe. So Jesse engineered it, and then he and Jesse mixed it and all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dang. I didn't realize you had this remarkable background. Again, that's why I love doing these things, because you learn all this stuff about these people. So we'll get into what you're doing now and all that. So is that the only album that you have out now, or I mean, is it besides the one that you did earlier that you know?
Yeah. So that's the. So I don't really put that one out much. So it's the only one that's out there at this point. And
Okay.
Right now I'm in the process of writing for the next one.
Yeah. And when did this the most recent album come out? When was it?
2018.
2018.
The end of 2018.
Okay. All right. And Poorhouse Road, that's on
Yes.
that album.
Yeah.
I think when you sent the album to me to play on the radio, Poorhouse Road was the first song I think I played of yours, and I was like, holy geez. And again, I just knew you kind of peripherally from the songwriters thing, but I knew that you had some credibility. But dang man, I didn't realize it was quite as extensive as it is. Poorhouse Road. Go ahead and kind of set that one up for us, and because we're going to play that one next.
Well, it's kind of my Ain't No Place Like Home kind of song. I mean, when my wife and I started out, we were poorer than church mice, and I won't go into how get into a how poor were you competition with anybody, but we were real poor, and of course when you're young and you're struggling, you think, man, this is so hard, and is it ever going to get better? And boy, I can't wait till things get fill in the blanks, and quite so many times, then we look back on those days and we go, wow, those were the good old days.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was pretty much the inspiration for that tune.
How long have you and your wife been married? I put him on the spot. I'm sorry.
We got married in 78.
Okay, I got to do public. We'll have to do public math, and I can't do it.
So 78 to 18 would have been 40 years, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, both Jeff and I are counting on our fingers now.
Yeah, thank God for fingers.
If I got to go past 10, I got to take my shoes off.
So what, we're coming on 47, I think?
Wow,
47
fantastic.
Years. Yeah.
Good for you.
Very good for me.
Yeah, dang right.
Got to ask her whether it's good for her.
If you're like me, I always say, I appreciate my wife's impeccable taste in men and that she was willing to lower her standards for me. So.
I married up for sure.
Oh yeah, boy howdy, brother. Hey, so this is Jeff Mamett and Poorhouse Road, and on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast, just a remarkable man. So listen, we'll be back in just a minute.
Mama never had a diamond, Daddy never had a rest. Hard times was no stranger, but they always gave their best. Patches on our patches, the things we had were few. Trusting that our faith and love would always see us through. Carry me back to old Poorhouse Road. Wind along that dusty lane to where the woodbine grows. Precious memories warm me when I'm cold. When we lived on loving pennies down on Poorhouse Road. I close my eyes and see our simple little home getting smaller in the rear view till it was finally gone. I was searching for a rainbow away beyond the blue, with $15 in my pocket, a pair of 20s in my shoe. Carry me back to old Poorhouse Road. my fun. It's been so long, I lost track of all my trips around the sun. Oftentimes I wonder why I went so far to find I'd trade all my gold and silver for just one day back in time. Carry me back to old Poorhouse Road, wind along that dusty lane to where the woodbine grows. Precious memories warm me up when I'm cold, when we lived on love and pennies down on Poorhouse Road. We lived on love and pennies way down on Poorhouse Road. Way down, way down, way down on Poorhouse Road.
Poorhouse Road by Jeff Mamett, and recorded in Nashville. When you write, do you sit down? I mean, how does it come to you? Because you started late in life for your songwriting. How do you approach that? How do you craft a song, or does it just come and you write it and boom, I go?
So there have been a couple that God just dropped on me in a rather complete form, but most often I feel like he comes with a big puzzle box and drops all these pieces. Says, "Okay, figure out what this is about."
Yeah.
My main songwriting hero is Guy Clark.
Oh wow!
And then you can look at that tree of Guy, and all the other folks that have been influenced by him. You know, Steve Earle and Rodney Crowell and Joe Ely and
Townes Van Zandt. Oh my gosh!
Lyle Lovett. I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
And I was reading an interview. And I apologize, I can't remember the one fella. He's a songwriter, and he was invited to Guy's workshop to write with him. And so he comes, and Guy says, "Well, what do you got?" You know, so he starts going through, and he said he'd start on a tune or an idea that he started, and Guy go, "I don't care about that guy. What else you got?" "I don't care about that guy. What else you got?" And they keep going. The point was, what he meant by that was there was no empathy there. There was nothing that made you feel about the character.
Right.
And when you think about, and I'm a storyteller, and so when you think about stories, the good stories are the ones that people care about, the protagonist or somebody in the story, or they wonder what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Something makes you care and draws you in. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's been really the main driver when I write. That if I can cause somebody to feel something, if one of my songs can cause somebody to be taken someplace, that's like the greatest compliment I could ever be paid.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. Usually it's the lyrics, and again, it's been a blessing that it's like once the lyrics are there and the idea, the music just comes to what it's supposed to be, or what it wants to be,
right.
what the song wants it to be.
Yeah.
And I have to say, there've been certainly been times when my musical vocabulary hasn't been quite large enough. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I was, of course, very grateful for somebody, or for like Wayne, to listen and say, okay, well, that's pretty cool. What if we do this? Yeah. What if we go, well, what do you think of this? I remember, and I trust him completely. Yeah. We've just been pals forever and a day, and he knows me inside and out. And I just so I remember we're going to the studio, and this is about Poorhouse Road, actually.
Oh, good.
And I don't know if you caught the vocals, the male vocals, the background vocals. And we're driving in his truck, and he flips on. He says, "Check this out." He says, "I'm thinking we ought to put something in some background vocals in this song. Add something like this." And I forget the name of the band, but it was one of those kind of like the Dixie Hummingbirds, sort of male sort of gospel quartets and everything. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what in the heck? How is that gonna? But I said, whatever you say, man. I just trust you.
Sure.
And you hear what he did with it.
Yeah, that's.
And then I thought, wow, I couldn't even envision what you were thinking of until I heard it, and then I was like, doggone it, that's so cool.
Yeah, and you have to, as a songwriter and a performer, I mean, you have to. I mean, when you write something, it's like, oh, this is mine. This is the way I want to do it. But you have to be open, I think, at sometimes to take that kind of stuff, even if you're like skeptical of it. Because as you said, the Dixie Hummingbirds and that kind of a song, I'm like, yeah, I would have, but it worked.
Yes, and I guess that's the thing. A friend of mine used to always say, "You don't know what you don't know."
Yeah,
and I believe that's so true. And whatever my musical vocabulary is, and I'm very eclectic in my taste of what I listen to. I listen to, you name it, except opera. I listen to just about all of it.
Yeah.
But there's stuff I don't know, or I'm not aware of, or I'm not so particularly on the guitar, I'm not so proficient in that style that I can really lend it. Although sometimes I'll hear a groove, or I'll hear something on guitar that I like, and that'll force me to learn that so I can apply that concept to the song. And I guess that gets to, maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
You go.
So, when it comes now to performing this stuff live, I can't afford a band.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey for me, because I think in terms, well, first of all, I see the world in pictures. I think in terms of pictures. I see images. And then, of course, the writing is trying to describe those images. Yeah. But I think in terms of the band, I guess coming from being a bass player, thinking about groove and that sort of thing. So it's been a real challenge to say, okay, you can't afford a band. How are you going to perform this thing live?
Yeah.
And it's really forced me to learn to be a better guitar player, to up my guitar playing, and really reverse engineer a lot of these tunes into a way that it's going to translate. So a tune we're going to hear later, This Feels Like Love, the way I perform it live is so different from what you hear on the record. The approach. So, and am I getting to this a little too soon in our visiting?
Yeah, you go. This is your interview, my friend. So you go where we go. So
okay,
we're going where you're going. So.
All right. So yeah. I had this image, like on that song. I envisioned like this kind of a Louisiana crawfish boil party kind of a thing, atmosphere. Yeah. And that was the atmosphere. That was a place that I thought I'd want to put the listener of the song.
Yeah.
And it kind of came out kind of Cajun Zydeco kind of a feel. I could not find a way to make that work live with just the guitar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so when I do it it's almost a bluegrassy type of treatment.
Okay.
But you know what's funny? A lot of things are funny, but interesting to me, I should say. I never was a TV watcher, never watched much, but nowadays with you got Netflix and so forth, there's a lot of good stuff on. Mm-hmm. And there was a show called Weeds.
Oh, yeah,
Weeds.
yeah.
It was about the woman who had they were growing dope and all.
Right, yeah.
And so, but the theme song, this is where I'm getting to. The theme song of that was that old 1960s folk song about ticky-tacky.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Little boxes on the hillside, and
right.
they're all made of ticky-tacky.
Yeah.
And it seemed like every week they played that song as the theme song, but with a completely different treatment. So
okay.
One week it was like a punk rock version of that song. Another week it was like a reggae version of that song. Yeah. And my point in this was no matter what treatment they gave that song was such a powerful song to stand alone. It worked no matter how they treated it. Yeah. And I just thought that was so interesting. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting far afield.
I mean, because it's like when you write something. Has anybody ever covered your songs? Has anybody ever performed or recorded one of your songs that you know of?
Not that I know of. Okay. I remember there was a guy contacted me a while back and asked if do you mind if I covered this particular song? Yeah. I said, well, I'd be honored. I'd love to hear it. Yeah. Never heard it. Don't know if he did or not or whatever. Yeah. So
I mean, because people, I know that, I certainly don't put myself in the caliber of songwriting that you do. But when I write a song and it's done and I either play it out or it's recorded, it's out there. How you want to interpret it via your mind or where that song takes you in that mental picture, or if someone, how they interpret it or reinterpret it. Nobody's ever covered one of my songs, but it's out there. You can do with this as you want to, whatever style or whatever arrangement you want. But I think that makes the song even better is when somebody puts their own little spin on it. Just like that ticky tacky, where you just have different versions of it. Yeah. We're working on, our band is working on a reggae version of Quinn the Eskimo. By Bob Dylan. We're doing a reggae version, and I didn't think it was going to work. And I don't know what Dylan would think. He probably doesn't care. Or maybe he does. Yeah, well, I don't know. Who knows? But I was like, how the heck did we do that? But that's our spin on it. Just to make it interesting. So yeah. So once they're out there, and so we're going down a rabbit hole here ourselves. So when and it was interesting. I want to come back to the Guy Clark thing, where the guy was playing the songs, and it's almost like a novelist, where you got to catch them in the first couple pages or the first paragraph of the novel to bring them in. It's the same with songwriting. You got to catch them. Yes. And some people do that, and some people don't. You do. I mean, I like your songs, and they catch you, and you can, if you really listen close, you can really kind of transport yourself to some other place as you interpret it. But that's the mark of a good songwriter. So,
well, thank you so much. I mean, that is what I attempt to do. Yeah. And again, seeing the world, seeing things in pictures, I envision it almost like a small movie or a movie that, okay, here's the opening scene. Where's it going? Yeah. And so when I'm writing, I'm thinking in those terms. Yeah. I'm thinking that way. I have this movie running in my head that I'm trying to get out.
My musical touchstone is Michael Nesmith from the Monkees and others. But anyhow, one of the he did a tour in 2014 called Movies of the Mind. Oh. And he took his songs and he would have like this little preamble to the song. it wasn't about what the song was, but he said, this is the movie that runs in my mind when I play this song now. This is the movie. And it had nothing to do with the song, but it was just like these little vignettes that led up to the song, and it worked. And so that's interesting that you said, they play out as little movies in your mind, because that's exactly what he said. So again,
cool.
You're in good company.
Well,
I knew I liked you for a reason.
He's awesome.
Oh, he is. He's my guy. But so we're gonna hear a song, and I gotta get my notes here. Like Old Uncle Jim. Now this is a new one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So tee that one up for now. Have you recorded this yet?
I have not recorded it.
Okay, so we are privileged to have this song be played live and featured on the podcast. But tee it up for us. Where's that? What's the movie about for this one?
Well, I don't want to spoil the movie. I don't want to be a spoiler on the movie.
Okay, spoiler alert. So this is. Well, that's okay. This is a new song. We're going to listen, and then Jeff is going to give us the interpretation or what you want to talk about afterwards. Does that work?
Well, sure. I guess what I would say to preface it, though, I guess to give you some kind of not a wiseacre answer, but some sort of a legitimate answer. I guess in a sense, and a song can be about so many things, and you hope that people bring their own life experience, their own emotions, their own whatever, to make it whatever they want it to be. I would never attempt to make something so concrete that, okay, this is what it's about and you must think that. But certainly there's an element to it about how we perceive things, and often maybe how we perceive them and how they really are might surprise us or whatever. I guess I'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right. So this is a song. And again, we're so privileged and honored to be able to say this is a new song from Jeff Mamett, like Old Uncle Jim, here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
He draws down a lucky, flips the butt to the side, sips a 7-Up bottle, kinda smells like turpentine, gets up on his feet, and the pony's all style. In the dusty circle with the canvas on top, holding on a ticket, standing in line, on a turn for the pony ride. Shorty and me's gonna ride like the wind, wanna be a real cowboy like old Uncle Jim. His old bones, like his hat, has seen better days. His pearl snap shirt's worn, thin and frayed, telling tales of wild horses when he gets a bit loose. By riding broncos and bulls in the days of his youth, holding on a ticket, standing in line, on a turn for the pony ride. Shorty and me's gonna ride like the wind, wanna be a real cowboy like old Uncle Jim. To me he's a hero, they say it's pretend. He talks to the ponies, they start round again. There's a faded old picture on the wall in his room. A cow poking woolies, the horse bucks for the moon. Night falls and he's resting, and he smiles 'cause he's dreaming of Septembers in Pendleton when he was still winning. Holding on a ticket, standing in line, waiting on a turn for the pony ride. Shorty and me's gonna ride like the wind, want to be a real cowboy like old Uncle Jim. Oodalay. Oodalay.
Like Old Uncle Jim, that's a new song played live by Jeff Mamett. And now that we've heard the song, we can have the spoilers. So,
yeah. So, Old Uncle Jim. I mean, he's a fellow. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. He taught me to drive a team of mules.
So there is an Uncle Jim.
Yes.
Okay.
Real.
Yeah.
And most. All of my songs, I certainly take poetic license, but there's a lot of my life experience in these songs.
Yeah.
I can't, I know there are people who can write on, I forget what it's called, but when somebody says, okay, write a song about X, Y, Z, and there's people that can do that.
Like writing on spec or writing on, like commission or something like that.
Yeah.
Commission, yeah.
And I really, I don't know if I wish I was one of those guys. I certainly admire guys, gals. I mean, please excuse me. But yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
It has to have something that really ties into my heart, my life, my life experience. Otherwise, it just comes off. It's not authentic. And for me, authenticity, I can't be comfortable in any other skin than what I'm in.
Yeah.
I can't be something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of people maybe wish I was something else.
No.
But I can't. I just can't do it. He had 2 big old Mississippi mules, Jack and Jerry. And he was quite a character. He taught me a lot of stuff. So he was the inspiration.
Wow.
For the tune.
Lucky you and lucky him, because I interviewed Jason Yoder yesterday, and he has a song about his cousin, and I said, I truly believe that in talking about someone or writing a song about them or writing something about them keeps them alive. And so Uncle Jim is still alive with this song.
Yes, that's a cool way to think about it.
And I also like the fact that because you have always struck me as an authentic guy. I don't think, like I said, there's not a lot of varnish on your persona. You're an authentic guy. So I can't imagine you writing something that isn't from your heart. But also about writing commission songs. Yeah, I admire people that can do that. You hear about the old Brill Building, the Carole Kings and the Jerry Goffins and all that. Neil Diamond, we need a song with Mary in it, and they could write the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing talent to be able to do that. Yeah. It's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, same here. But again, it fascinates me, and I'm just so impressed with the fact that you got started a little later in life in writing, but you seem to have nailed it pretty damn quick. From what I've heard. So,
well, thank you. I hope other folks will listen to what I do and feel the same way.
If we have anything to do with it, they are. So when you perform out, because I've seen, again, we've seen, shared the stage with you, and you've been to the songwriters showcases in the area. Where do you enjoy playing with a band? Do you enjoy playing solo? What's kind of your gig? What do you enjoy doing most?
I love playing out. I love playing for people.
Yeah.
I don't. I can't afford a band, so I have to play solo. And I'll just kind of dial back for a moment. There was about a 5-year period where locally I was playing with a band called Grand Junction.
Okay.
We were playing classic country and western swing and hippie country and that sort of stuff. And we were doing
Was that a husband and wife that had that band?
There was a husband and wife in the band.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah,
that.
Webb and Stacy Klein were in it.
That's it. Okay.
Had a few different guitar players come through,
Okay. I when you said Grand Junction, I was like, wait a minute. I'm trying to pull it from the periphery of my mind. Yeah.
So
now I remember. Okay.
We were doing like the carnivals and the Knoebels Groves and that sort of thing, and that was a lot of fun. And
were you playing bass?
I was playing bass, and I was having to front the band, which I had never, and I did most of the singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a break, maybe a couple songs in a set or something with somebody, but basically I had to, and so it was a really valuable training for me to be out front as the guy, as the singer, and also to front the band. So I learned a lot from that.
Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy fronting a band?
I do.
Okay.
I found out that I did.
Okay. All right.
I didn't know if I was scared to do it.
Sure.
I'd never done anything like that before. I'm always the guy in the background, just, laying it down and having a good time.
Yeah.
But I had come to, and the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. So I guess it was maybe training ground for me to be able to go out and do solo shows and feel comfortable and feel like I could connect with the audience and feel like I could entertain folks and make them feel good about being there and feel like, they've been, they've seen a show. It's not just, let me stare at my shoes, till I do another song and, bebop around. And, we interact, we talk, me and the audience, we interact, we talk. And I really enjoy that. If I had my druthers, I'd be performing the tunes with a band. Yeah. But that's not in the financial cards right now. So, again, it's like I said before, it's been a real catalyst for me to up my game as a guitar player. So it's all good.
Well, there's a skill to being a solo performer, and you play mostly like listening rooms where people are coming to see you. You're not playing like the restaurants and the wineries and the bars and all that. So I mean, that is there's a certain skill that you need to be able to be a one person show and be able to have that reciprocal connection with the audience. And some people can do it despite the audience. I mean, there's some tough audiences out there. Some people can do it despite the audience. I will admit, I have not seen you in that kind of a venue yet. But it's almost as fun as playing in a band when you get that connection as a solo performer with the audience. And some people can do it and some people can't. It seems to me you can do it. So, yeah.
People say I can. They appear to be engaged and entertained. And my kind of songs, for them to resonate, it has to be in that environment of, a listening room or a theater or some place where people go to listen to the songs.
Yeah.
And I'm in no way being, critical. I mean, music fulfills a lot of different purposes, a lot of different functions for people. It's nice to go to a restaurant or a bar and you've got some music going on in the background and that aids the ambiance. It's nice to go to a place if you feel like dancing and there's people playing dance music and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's nice to go to a place where there's a cover band and they're playing all your old favorite songs and you can enjoy those songs again with your friends. And those are all wonderful things. They're just not for me.
Yeah.
So I don't try to do those things.
Yeah. And I sing the praises of this area for the breadth and depth of the talent that we have in this area. And for this area, because I talk to people that live in comparable size, and I always use Montgomery, Alabama, comparable size areas. And there are very few places to play live, like for bands and performers. Whereas here, there are just in Sunbury, Pennsylvania alone, there is at least 6 or 7 venues to play. My only critique of this area is that we don't have enough listening rooms for guys like you. And this is the only time I'm going to put myself on par with Jeff Mamett. For guys like you and me to go out and do this, the singer-songwriter, the storyteller, where you can, kind of have that banter with the audience. I wish we had more places like that to play. But you're right. There's a place for those other, the dancing and the top 40 stuff.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the reason why I travel so much to play. I don't play locally very often because there just aren't those types of venues. There aren't very many of them in this neck of the woods.
Right.
But that's, I like traveling. I like going, and then I like being home too.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lovely home, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. For your shows, do you play exclusively your original stuff, or do you throw in some covers as well? Or
generally speaking, it's my music, my songs.
Yeah.
If it's a longer show, like if it's a 90-minute or 2-hour, I'll do some covers. Generally, if I choose a cover, it's by a writer. It's a song I really love by a writer I really love. Yeah. It may not be anybody's hit. It's because it makes me feel something.
Right.
Takes me someplace, and so I hope it'll do the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to start to get that connection with a song. You have to start with it meaning something to you. At least my experience. Do you have a website so we can kind of see where you're going to be playing next?
Sure. Yeah.
What's your website?
It's pretty simple. It's just jeffmamett.com.
Wow, that's simple enough even for me.
So if you don't butcher my name too bad, you'll find me.
Yeah, and there's only one M, right?
Well, there's one at the beginning and one in the middle.
And one in the middle, right. So, it's not a double M.
Yeah, it's Mamett. But
we'll make sure we spell it right, and we have so far pronounced it right, although...
Yeah, thank you for that. And so I do the Facebook stuff too.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's now the reason that we're sitting down and Jeff is going to participate in our songwriter showcase at the Backhouse Cafe on June 16th. It'll be Jeff, it'll be Jason Yoder, and Elisa Sully, and Jeff comes from, kind of the I don't like genres. I don't like to label somebody with a genre, but you come from more like a folk country kind of wheelhouse. Am I off base or?
No, I think you're kind of, I'd kind of maybe say Americana.
Okay. All right.
I'm like, that's a big tent.
Yeah. Jason is kind of country folk, but he has a good blues background in his stuff. And Alicia is kind of a jazz kind of. So this is going to be the first of the songwriter showcases where, number one, we have people come from outside of Williamsport coming in, but also just a little broader palette of musical styles. And I'm really looking forward to doing to having you come up there and to seeing how this is going to work. So that's June 16th at the Backhouse Cafe in Williamsport. And you can follow Jeff on his website that will link to the podcast, also his social media platform. And we are going to continue to feature him on the radio show. Is there, and it's our pleasure. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is. I mean, I've been having a ball sitting here visiting with you, Michael.
Likewise.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to that up at the back house. I've done a couple shows with Jason, and I really like him a lot.
Yeah,
and it's just going to be good to get with him.
Yeah,
I haven't met Alicia.
Alicia, yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it, and I know we're going to have a good time.
Oh, I know
what happens.
Yeah. Well, you guys are. I'm just there to. I'm just the wagon master for this one. So
you should have fun as the wagon master.
Oh heck yeah, I always do. And somebody had said, why don't you promote your own stuff with the radio show and the podcast? I said, because I have more fun, learning about the artists in this area. I have more fun in, kind of promoting a little bit than I would talking about myself. You have a fascinating story. I mean, this has been a joy for me to sit down and get to know you a little bit more. So on behalf of the listening audience to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast and the radio show, Jeff, thank you for sitting down with us today and sharing your life story.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate being able to do this with you. I'm so honored that you asked me to do it.
Oh my gosh. The honor is ours, and we did the recording at Jeff's home here, and it's a beautiful home. Built when?
Or best we can figure, around 1870.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home, and we're sitting in an addition that he and his wife had added to this house, and it is just a beautiful home, and it reflects the authenticity of the man who lives here. So we're going to play out with Angelina. You're going to play that one live.
Yes.
Okay. So on behalf of, again, the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast and show, Jeff, thank you for inviting us into your home and sitting down and sharing your story with us.
Pleasure's all mine, Michael.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
We've been stepping lightly, so not to break the truce. My white flag's a coffee cup I fill and hand to you. We take our neutral corners, stare down at the floor. Old bones resurrected. We've been here before. Disappointment's heavy, like a stone that weighs me down. We've been treading water, trying not to drown. I wish things were different, but here's the cold hard truth. Ain't no way around it. What I am's what makes you blue. Dry your eyes, Angelina, don't cry. When the sun comes up tomorrow, leave your troubled mind behind. Sometimes love ain't enough, no matter how hard we try. Fare thee well, Angelina, Angelina, goodbye. must be something better. This ain't no way to live. Let's agree to make our peace and forgive. Battle scars on wounded hearts is all we have to show. There's redemption in surrender, free falling, letting go. Dry your eyes, Angelina, don't cry. When the sun comes up tomorrow, leave your troubled mind behind. Sometimes love ain't enough, no matter how hard we try. Fare thee well, Angelina, Angelina, goodbye. We've been stepping lightly, so not to break the truce. My white flag's a coffee cup I fill and hand to you.
That was nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Angelina, performed live by Jeff Mamett here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. The word that kept coming up and crossing my mind while we were interviewing Jeff was authentic, and he certainly is. There is no pretense to that man, and it was just a joy and a pleasure to sit down with him, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Catch Jeff on his social media platforms and on his website that we will have tagged in the website for the podcast. Hey, every week you can catch artists like Jeff Mamett on the Rec Room Radio Hour each week on wxpiradio.org. And while you're there, please consider making a small financial contribution to our radio station so we can keep doing all of this to serve the central Susquehanna Valleys. Until next time, I am your host, Michael Lundy, asking you to stay tuned, don't fret, and play nice. We'll see you next time on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Until then, bye-bye.